Hell came down, and iniquity filled our souls. The song was once inspired called Heaven Came Down. It went this way. This is the chorus. Heaven came down, glory filled my soul. When at the cross the Savior made me whole. My night was turned to day, my sins were washed away. Heaven came down and glory filled my soul. This is a twist of that song. Show you what happened. How Adam, a son of God, became a son of man. You could read it this way. Hell came down and iniquity filled our souls. When in heaven the story began to unfold, my day was turned to night. What was wrong became right. Hell came down and iniquity filled our souls. We're seeing this being played out in human history, more so today than ever before. What was called wrong becomes right, and what was one time called right becomes wrong. It's a twist, a satanic twist of God's ultimate intention and purpose of our coming to this world. I want to get into this, express God's original intent. This comes out in my series, The Ultimate Intention of God. Iniquity is said to have been found in one of the angelic hosts. His name was Lucifer. This iniquity can be seen expressed throughout human history. I've written about this before. How Satan fell, is falling, and shall fall. What took place in the eternal realms, and how God dealt with that. That battle was quick compared to our idea of seeing this expression in human history. Human history is nothing more than a manifestation of the eternal realm. I brought that up in my video, CMES, or F, the commemoration manifestation of eternal fact. This whole world is nothing more than a commemoration manifestation of eternal facts. That's why it's written, we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers. That's where the real battle is fought, and that's where the real battle is won. In the eyes and minds of God, it's already been won. Satan's already been defeated. Lucifer's already been defeated. Him and his host of 1/3 of heaven that fell with him was dealt with. You hear Jesus express it that he goes to prepare a place for us, that where he is, we may be someday. That iniquity started there. Heaven was cleansed of the iniquity of Lucifer himself. When the angelic host had objected to God's expansion, expression of who he is and who we were. An expansion, expression that would have been played out in a world without end. It started in heaven and continues in heaven and unfolds forever and ever and ever. We never arrive as our idea of arriving, thinking we get to a point somewhere we get to know it all. The length, breadth, height, and depth of just who God is beyond the limited expression we see here in this world, be it to the secular world or the religious world. That's why the Apostle Paul, with all that he had known, had to say, I ain't arrived yet, brothers. And any man that saw differently, he said, God will reveal to him differently. You ain't arrived yet. I'm 70 years old, and it's taken me 70 years to realize I ain't arrived. In those moments I look back in my past where I thought I had arrived. I had graduated from a Bible college. I had reached a certain age where I thought I was matured. My ideas of maturity, our ideas of perfection fall short of the eternal expression, expansion of who God is and who we are. As God expands and expresses who He is, He's complete. Will we ever see this completeness? Forever. God is who He is. There's no limitation as to who He is, nor is there a limitation expression of who we are. If we get hung up in who we think we are in this limited little world, and our little private interpretation of it all, that's why there's no private interpretation of what God's trying to say at any given point of history. We can't look back and say the good old days. Instead of men waxing better and better, they begin to wax worse and worse, deceive and being deceived. Instead of getting closer and closer to God, we're getting further and further away from God. It doesn't have to be that way. But you got to get up out of this world and this expression and expansion of its ideas to get into the idea of God's expansion expression of who He is. Let me scroll down here. I had placed that song here. Here's the song. Heaven came down, glory filled my soul. It starts off saying, oh, what a wonderful, wonderful day. A day I would never forget. That's half the problem. We forget. This has already been taking place in heaven, heavenly realms. This battle has already been fought and won. Yet I have wandered in darkness away. This whole world lies in the wicked one. Lies in darkness. Jesus, my Savior, I met. Oh, what a tender, compassionate friend. He met the needs of my heart. Shadows dispelling. With joy I am telling. He made all the darkness depart. I catch this part. Born of the Spirit. With life from above. Life from above. I mean, everything I'm underlining here. But this song's expression kind of comes out in all my videos. Into God's family divine. That family divine. Our ideas of family. Justified. There's that word again. That comes out. The sanctification, or the justification, sanctification, glorification of God. The process that was started in heaven, finished in heaven, and is expressed here. And all we're doing is commemorating, manifesting eternal facts of how God justified us, corrected the injustice of the fall of Adam. And every time He undoes what's been done to us, the iniquity of this world and the iniquity of our parents. How Christ was crucified. Calvary was nothing more than an expression of the eternal fact Christ slain before the foundation of the world. That's the standing that we got. That's the standing we should have. That's the foundation. It came up before the foundation of this world. And the transaction quickly was made. So quickly was made. Oh God. Instantly in heaven, you know. When Satan thought, Lucifer thought, to object to what God was about to do, to express himself to his sons in a world that would have no end. An expression of the world that had no beginning, has no end, was, is, and ever shall be, a world without end. He had to end it, because iniquity enters the picture. He cleanses heaven of iniquity. Iniquity comes in the garden. Is expressed and felt and seen to Adam. And then the iniquity of that parents, these first parents, visit to the third and fourth generation. When as a sinner I came, my God. God expresses His love to us. It says to His wrath. He swore in His wrath. He swore in His wrath. What He had finished before the world began. It comes up out of the book of Hebrews. It comes out in my videos. I took the offer of grace. We don't frustrate God's grace. Grace is giving us what we didn't deserve. Mercy is holding back what we did deserve. He saved me. You've been saved. You don't get saved. You were saved from the iniquity of Satan iniquity of your parents, and he did this before the world began. I'm just, let me just read on here. Now I have a hope that will surely endure. It's an eternal hope. After the passing of time, it gets past this idea of time. Hope ain't in the seen, but in the unseen. I have a future in heaven for sure. I mean, you can have that confidence. Confidence of deliverance comes out in my series, Confidence of Deliverance. There in those mansions sublime is because of that wonderful day when at the cross I believed. Riches eternal and blessings supernal from his precious name hand I received. Now, this treasure is hidden in earthen vessels. The excellence be of God, not of us. It can't be our works. It was the finished works of Christ before the foundations of the world. Powerful song. When they wrote that song, I like to talk to the person that wrote that song, and I would know they would have all what I'm trying to say here, and all these spread out videos of what I've picked up over the last 70 years of my own life. And then others are doing the same thing. I'm not trying to say I'm the only one who has this truth, but my God, it's powerful.